Right now, I'm making me an egg sandwich and some toast. Made a loaf of bread last night at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and so I'm having some of it. I had a couple slices, few slices last night, and it was in bomb. So I'm having me a sandwich right now. Stay tuned. More after these messages. And I also picked my W sponsorship back up, so probably be showing that on stream. So yeah, W's an energy drink thingamajig. They it's like a energy mix. You mix it and drink it as you go. You mix it in your water, mix it into pretty much anything. So I'll be showing that a little bit later. And who knows, maybe I might pick up some sponsorships from Streamlabs. I think Streamlabs does them. Somebody else does sponsorships. I know Twitch does, but they basically invite you to it. And I don't make enough money for Twitch for them to invite me, so I'm just gonna look at some of the other ones. As I've seen a few on Streamlabs that look pretty good. I might get in on. I probably won't get in on anything that's like game specific unless it's a game that I actually play and have. Because I'm not gonna be buying a game for a sponsorship unless they offer me the game. So, so I'll be looking at that today too, some sponsorships and things of that nature. But for right now, I'm gonna go finish my sandwich. I'll be back. Enjoy the tunes, and we'll be back after this. So it's not the most elaborate sandwich, but the bread's made by me. These aren't locally sourced eggs. I wish my grandpa would keep eggs coming year round, but his eggs, his quail, they slow down in the winter. Think about taking those mashed potatoes that I have and turning them into hash browns. Or some potato cakes. There we go. I have the cornstarch. Same. Take my mashed potatoes, mix some cornstarch with them as a kind of like something to keep them together, and then kind of well, I wouldn't really need to put anything on the outside. Cornstarch will do a pretty good job in crisping them up, especially seeing as potatoes will hold together better. It's about a bad thing about potatoes. Ooh. And why it's hard to do stuff without adding something like cornstarch is because there's so much water in potatoes that once the water starts evaporating out, you're not left with much. The cornstarch essentially just acts as a barrier to keep the moisture in and allowing it to withstand higher temperatures. Because everything will start evaporating out. Potatoes lose their liquid, their integrity falters fast. So, gotta keep their liquid around. That's why, in order to make like potato waffles, things like that, you can't just mash the potatoes and throw them in a waffle iron. You won't necessarily ruin your waffle iron, but you're gonna make the cleanup a hell. It's gonna be hell to clean up because you will have mashed potatoes everywhere. They won't congeal together. So you add cornstarch to get them stuck together to be able to withstand the higher temperatures of heat. And once you do that, it'll crisp up just like bread. In bread, I will say, mix to the recipe. If you're doing bread, and baking mix to the recipe. Because if you're off by flour or water, it can jack up the consistency of your bread. And I've heard that song before. Blue moon in your eye. Heard this song before. Mm-hmm. Got a blue moon in your eye. Woke up this morning. The blue moon in your eye. Yeah, I've definitely heard this song before. That sandwich is good. Like at the moment, I have the ingredients to be able to sell a few loaves of bread. But I don't think I have the licensing. I think it's like I have to register some stuff in order to be able to sell bread from my apartment. I would though. How hard to do it? Posted my loaf. I pinched my loaf to Facebook this morning. Yeah, I'll probably do that a little bit later. I'm going to order one of those energy drink tubs. Because I get a free one for being accepted into the program. I get a free one. I'll show, basically it'll be for me to be able to show the prices of it, sizes, prices, things of that nature. And then when I get it, I'll mix a drink, and we'll see how it tastes. I mean, they haven't been shut down yet, and they've been advertising to me for like a year and some change now, so it seems like they're able to stick around, and they're actually about to close their program for partners and people to be sponsored. Whether that's true or not is irrelevant. I mean, we may as well go back and, because I applied for it before, but I never finished on the application process. I just get annoyed with application processes because I've applied for so many jobs that have not really. I mean, I've applied for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jobs, and I don't get called back by anybody. Um, so, doing a partnership for streaming is whatever. Not like I'm making a ton of money any other avenue of approach. Even though I'm doing a ton of what I can, I deal with what I have. I'm hoping that when I get out of school with this other degree, I'll be able to get another job being paid what I used to be paid for doing a more specialized craft. But whatever. So, one of the first things I did want to talk about this morning or this afternoon was this. This is insane. And the reason it is because I know somebody that had to make a sacrifice that ultimately ended their life. And it has to do with things to deal with health stuff. Always has to do with the health stuff. And my uncle Herschel, his son, who was diabetic, type 2 diabetic, or type 1, he had the early onset, which I believe is type 1 diabetes. He had the early onset diabetes, so he was on insulin for his whole life. He only lived to be about 22, 23 years old, somewhere around there. Because he died because of not being able to get insulin. It cost too much money. He couldn't afford it. He didn't, like, people say, well, why didn't he reach out to anybody? You know how cumbersome that is for somebody who's struggling, who their only option is to die or ask someone for help. And the fact that you don't like asking anybody for help, not out of pride, but because of the fact that you don't want to feel like a burden to anybody. Like, unless you've actually had to choose that sacrifice, choose to go without because you don't want to burden anyone, regardless of what people say, well, it's not burdening. It's not burdening. All you had to do is that's always the after the fact statement. Literally, it's after the fact always. It's never beforehand. And that's what it boils down to. Is you can't expect somebody to look at their struggle and say that's not going to be a burden to someone else with their own struggles. That's exactly how it's going to be taken. And that's exactly why I don't ask anybody for help. I get to the point where I'm stressing out, pacing my apartment more than usual. And I'm like very stressed out before I ask for help. Breaking point stressed out before I'll ask for help. And that it's not because of pride. It's not because of anything other than I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I don't want to want someone else to have to think about the problems that I'm going through. So before you jump on and say, well, he should have asked for help. There's a lot of people that can help. That's not the case in some people's minds. Why do you think people take their own lives? Because to them being a long-term burden for people is worse than that short-term hurt. This is why people make these choices. This is why people end up sacrificing their health so they don't get thrown out on the streets. This world has gotten so disgusting, and being okay with people just dying I doubt this kid was a bad guy. I doubt he was evil. He's a PDF file. He's in here raking in millions while trafficking people across the world. I doubt he's that. So for him and his life to be cut short because some actual PDF file, actual scumbag, actual world criminal says that his drugs need to cost 2,000% more. It's gross. And I don't hope the Fermi paradox is the way we think it is. And there's another civilization out there that is far more advanced than we are. It's basically like the Orville, like the people, like humans, how humans are in the show Orville, where the only way they can achieve that is to get rid of all of the ground stuff, all this. You need to pay 6,000% for your drugs because, you know, it keeps you alive. People are living longer. We should be charging you more just to stay alive longer. That should be gone. And anybody that has that ideology shouldn't be looked at as a leader, shouldn't be looked at as somebody to look up to. They should be looked at as the psychopath they are, because that's psycho. That's a psycho way of thinking. The world should be paying you more money because they're living longer. That's psycho. And to allow this stuff to continue on and on and on shows that people are becoming desensitized to their neighbors just dropping dead right in front of their eyes. Pretty soon, people will be dropping dead in the stores, and somebody will just move them out of the way so they can get to the product they're blocking. Pretty soon, you'll start seeing people being mad and hating people for dying. You took the easy route out. Everybody's here struggling. You're out here dying. This is what the world is. We're ushering in, and we're just allowing ourselves to be ushered into. Being okay with people suffering to the point where they die. You're going to be better with your money. That's always the excuse. You're going to be better with your money. You're going to be better with your money. As if nothing out here is able to be bought with that. You're going to be better with your money. Being better with my money means I only buy things that I need. That's it. I don't get to do anything that takes me out of a frame of reference of the fact that society is built to capsize me at any turn. No, I'm not allowed to step outside that. I have to constantly sit in and wallow in the chaos of reality because I have to be better with my money because I don't have a lot of it. I'm not allowed to spend $3 on something that allows me to progress to tomorrow without thinking of how much today sucked. Why is it only some people are allowed to look at future stuff? Some people are allowed to have these hopes and dreams, while others, you're not allowed to do that because you're not smart with your money. It's not my problem you're not smart with your money, even though you were never taught how to use money. You were only taught what money's purpose is. That's it. You were never taught how money actually works. You were never taught how money is supposed to be used. You were just taught, look, you got money, you want stuff, go get it. This is what the society was showing us as we were growing up into adults. And this is what society continues to push onto us as adults to teach our children. Oh, don't worry about your struggles, man. Just enjoy yourself. And just enjoy yourself. Who cares? You live on the streets. Just enjoy yourself. It's become so imbalanced with how reality should be working that we're looking at things that happen in Hollywood and movies and TV as if that's reality. And we're denying all the stuff in reality. It's absolutely insane. It's insane that this is even a conversation. It's insane that this is a thing. The company that it's setting these prices for inhalers, for insulin, for drugs. If you decided you wanted to go in and do a bunch of research on drugs and pharmaceuticals and stuff to keep people alive, you shouldn't be allowed to say, okay, well, I figured out how to keep you alive with your breathing problems. So now you got to pay me the rest of your life for that. To be able to breathe, I need everything you have. Every time you want to breathe, you have to give me everything you have. This shouldn't be allowed. These things should not be allowed. There's competition, and then there's this. This is not competition at all. This is not survival of the fittest. This is not Darwin's theory. This is not any of that. This is absolute disgusting greed set in place by the worst, most despicable people breathing. And I say breathing because a lot of the way these people run this stuff isn't theirs. It's what some dead person created. But the fact that they keep it going is why I say that. They should have let it die with these people, but instead they keep it going because they see dollar signs. They see money. They see all the profit that comes behind it at the expense of everybody else's suffering. I would like to know who these people are. People that make these decisions, make decisions to take something from $66 to $500 overnight. We should know who these people are so we can pariah them, so we can exile them from humanity. They need exiled from humanity. People that do this do not deserve to call themselves good people. You do not deserve to call yourself a good person if this is your business strategy. And you need exiled from humanity. You need put on an island by yourself. No help at all. And then we'll see how much of that greed carries over with you. We'll see. You'll be chewing your own legs off in no time. These people need gone. They need exiled out of humanity. Where's the video? See, I was hoping somebody would post the video, but I don't see the video. Hodge twins, you guys are funny and you guys bring up good points, but start adding video evidence and something that kind of backs this, because just saying this without putting her video here doesn't mean anything to me. It's why I've kind of stepped back from listening to you guys regularly, because you don't actually put up a lot of the evidence. You make people go off and do a bunch of random research when you could put the link to the video in your thing, because you're promoting her. You're promoting her and her stuff. Let's fire Matt Cook. She not have a YouTube? Cook. Let me say daycare. Videos. Her video right here. I think I saw part of this one time.
So how much does it cost? Whoa. You can't just grab
Oh shit. I thought she dropped her
How
stuff.
much does it cost? Whoa. You can't just grab my cell phone.
The First Choice Childcare LLC.
Look at this. Why is there...
With a casino.
Well, the thing about this, I can tell you why there's a semi truck parked there. That's because they're not licensed to drive these vehicles. I'm sorry to tell you, there's only two reasons you have a semi truck parked in a location that has laws against parking them there. Parking them in your own driveway, on your own property, that's different. It's private property, it's your property, and you can park your stuff there. But when it's public streets and neighborhoods and places that aren't truck stops, to me that raises questions like why are they parking there? That takes away tons of parking for actual vehicles, like legit regular cars and trucks. And then these vehicles, 90% of these semis they look half obliterated. They look like something crashed into them at high speeds. And they don't move for days. They sit there. And then when they finally do move, it takes them 75 years to get out of the area. Because none of the people that drive these things actually are licensed to drive these things. Which is why they're parked in random locations that aren't truck stops. Because if they actually had to pay for a truck stop, then that would mean they would have to show some type of identification of something. They would have to show something. But they don't have any of that. These companies are illegit. They're not real companies. They are literally fake companies trafficking probably illegit goods across the country. And if they're not trafficking illegit goods across the country, I would be investigating the companies that are hiring them, because they're also breaking the law. They're putting unlicensed drivers on the roads to transport products. And companies that are hiring these people, they should be deleted out of existence. Sued, and every bit of the money they've ever made goes back to the people they defrauded. And I'm talking all of these companies. All of these companies, if they're found out for being fraudulent, they should be dissolved, and all the money gets sent back to the actual legal residents of that city, state, country, whatever. Because these people are robbing us all blind and laughing in our face while also killing us on the roads. One of many. One of millions of minis.
Them brothers.
That's what these trucks are. This is parked in this location because this driver is not licensed to drive this. This company is fraudulent. This trucking whole thing is fraudulent. And they're trying to get around paying taxes on storing this vehicle. Because if it was to be stored in a place where trucks have to be stored, they'd be paying They'd be paying fees and taxes and stuff like that. They'd be paying money to the system for it to be there. But they're not paying this company, this daycare center, any money for it to sit here. It's free. Free storage. That's why it's here.
Semi-truck in the parking lot. That's what you want to see when you're dropping your kid off for childcare.
Exactly.
Semi-truck.
This is how you tell that all of this shit is fraudulent. And as I said the other day, and people came for me, haha, get ratioed, DeWine, get ratioed.
See if we can.
And all you
Yeah, it should be locked, yeah.
people on his jock, get
Legally,
wrecked.
they should be, you would think.
Get wrecked.
For kids. Lots of
All y'all are getting wrecked right now. Making all y'all are being looking like
all these locations.
you don't know anything of what you're talking about.
Camera up there.
Looking like idiots. I'm over here just looking like a dumb. And dumbs. Y'all being ratioed in real time.
There's no cars in the parking lot, so
And this looks like a house. This looks like somebody's home. Like, it don't even look like you're going up to an actual business. It looks like you're going up to somebody's house, ready to have brunch. It's tea time. Tea time at the Crumpets.
to say it's closed. So there's, and then this is kind of the neighborhood you're looking at.
I know exactly where that's at.
Oh, we have another daycare center right next door.
I know
Bright
exactly where that's at.
Futures. So I guess we can just.
They're packed. They're packed. They got cars all over the parking lot. Or at least in that one line.
They must have started putting these private
Private property, no trespassing.
Again, you can't say a business that's funded by the government is private property. No, too bad, so sad. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to say my government funded business is private property. No, if people want to come in there to see how your business runs, to see if they, hey, it doesn't matter if they're trying to see if you're fraudulent or not. You are a government-funded business by taxpayers. You don't get to claim private property, no trespassing. You could put that in the rooms. These are private. This is a private area back here. These areas are private. No, you can't. You don't get to not have an entryway area where with a reception, with paperwork, with all this stuff. You don't get to have that, or you don't get to not have that. Claim private property and still be funded by the government. No, and no. So stop. Take your sign down. Produce the documents. Produce everything that's being asked for, or you deserve to be shut down. You deserve to be shut down. Show the paperwork or get shut down. And guess what, DeWine? Get ratioed in real time because you're about to be shut down. And I'm so glad for it. I've been calling for it. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of Ginther. Get rid of all of the people like them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. This is unacceptable. No, bitch. You are being paid by the government. You don't get to have privacy in a government business. There are places you do get privacy whenever it's a breach of confidentiality. You can close off the areas where the kids go. But you don't get to hide behind these doors, put up a sign that says private property, and expect us all to go, no. And any of you that are sympathizing with it, guess what? Karenism has infected you, and the cure is coming. The cure is coming. So you better get yourself ready to be inoculated. The cure is coming. The cure for Karenism is coming. So y'all just better line up at the ER and be ready to be inoculated. We will cure you of Karenism, or you will have a rough time for the rest of your days. You don't get to hide behind this garbage no more. Too bad, so sad. See you next time.
Okay. Okay. They want us to stop recording for. Okay, that's fine.
Price after we fill the application?
So how much does it cost?
I don't understand. What is it?
Just asking how much it costs to go to daycare here.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that big old fur coat. Get the hell out of here, man. Get them the hell out. If you're fraudulent, you better just start heading toward the borders. If you were committing fraud in this country, you just head toward the borders because you're found out and you're done. You're done. Look at her key fob. She's driving a push to start vehicle. Well, how do you tell that? The key fob. I worked in the auto industry. And I can tell you that that is a push to start key fob. That is just a, it's just a voice box for when you press the button to start your vehicle. It's like, hey, where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key? Oh, it's right here, the little remote. The remote's like, oh, I'm right here, homie. I'm just going to chill down here in the center console because you don't need me no more. Oh, it could be one of those folding ones. Wrong. You would see the button. You would see the button, and you see how they have this that wraps around and runs down the edge. They don't put that kind of accenting on something that's going to be inserted in and out of your ignition. No, they don't. The most they'll do is they'll put the ridge lines on it. It could, because if they were to put this little edge line on a key fob that still has a key, you would see a button here at the corner or a button here at this corner. They would have to work it in, and they're not going to put it down the side, and they're not going to put it at the end. They're going to put it up here at the edge because they're taking the place of the switchblade knife. It goes like this. It collapses down the side and it pops up. No matter what side it is, it's going to pop up like that. And seeing as I can look down this side and see that there's no key down that edge, that tells me that if it was still a keyed vehicle, the button would be here or the button would be here, which would pop it up here. More likely it would be here on this edge. Because you hit it, it releases from here and slides up and runs like this. And the reason I can tell you it's not on the other side is because the accenting would be reversed, going the other direction, and you would see the key on this edge. So this is a push to start vehicle she's driving. This right here is a push to start vehicle. So you mean to tell me that a Somalian who runs a daycare center in the west side of Columbus, because that's what this looks like. This looks like this is around like Frank Road, Harrisburg Pike area. We see Bright Futures LLC. Or this one might be the Cleveland Avenue one. And even then, that's even worse. If this is the Cleveland Avenue location, that's even worse. That's even worse. Because the key fob has a very low likelihood of being a newer model vehicle having push to start. And granted, this could be aftermarket. This could be all aftermarket. But aftermarket push to start work? You may as well buy it off the showroom floor. It's way more expensive to get that added to your vehicle after the fact than it is to just say, I want a push to start option. It's so much more expensive to add it, have somebody to come and because they have to take out the ignition, rewire it, wire it in to your regular wiring harness, and all where all the wiring goes. That is a big job. That is a very big job. So you're not going to have aftermarket push to start put on your vehicle if you live on Cleveland Avenue. If you run a daycare center on Cleveland Avenue. And you can't tell me that this employee makes enough money at this daycare center to afford, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a luxury vehicle, but it's going to be a nice vehicle. It's going to be a decently nice vehicle. It's not less than $20,000 a year vehicle. It's not a vehicle for somebody that just got out of college and just getting going in the workforce. It's not for, I mean, it's really not a vehicle that somebody should be able to afford running a daycare center that's on the east side of Columbus, that it is traditionally not the best area unless you're in Bexley. So again, I'm going to guess this is the Cleveland Avenue location. So no, this is Mountain Street. No, this is Cleveland Avenue. Okay. Okay. So it is Cleveland Avenue. But they, again, are they the same business? I'm not going to say they are. But I would say these two are. For sure, these two are. And the bad thing is this is probably a legit business. Just not good at their job. Actually, wait. I think they're being scrutinized. They have 3 reviews. He's reviewed 6 places. See what he said. Rated them 4 stars for getting him to buy more than he intended to. And he doesn't give reviews. He doesn't give reviews. Like, you can't say they give reviews when sour cream's so go hog. Sour cream is go hog. What is that? That's not a review. Takeout. Okay. Great is the way they treated the kids too. So they treated the kids good, but for some reason, an interaction with the tall Spanish grill left you saying they need to learn better customer service skills. Again, are these really believable reviews? Who reviews McDonald's? Really? Who reviews McDonald's? and you left your children at this place and had nothing to say. Come on, guy. Even if it was a 5-star experience, that should be like, again, this is why reviews and this stuff has lost a lot of its weight, because people are easily prompted to go and inflate this fake internet persona for these companies. Like, don't submit 5-star reviews. Don't submit a review. Again, if you're only going to submit stars to somewhere, don't submit anything. Just tell the people you talk to every day, tell the internet bubble that you live in, tell them that you liked or disliked something. Because if you're not going to put it in a review, then to rate it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars is basically you doing that. Is you just talking about it to the people that you surround yourself with. That's it. Because nobody else in the greater aspect of anything is going to see what you say and it really mean anything. They're not going to hear what you say or see what you say. And so therefore it's not going to have that overall impact on them, because that's what 5 stars, that's what just starring a company does. It inflates that fake GDP number that they have. That's what stars are. Stars are the GDP for companies. 1 star means they have a low GDP. Oh, we're not a good company. We're failing. 5-star means, oh, we're the best company in the world. It's all fake. It's all fake stuff. It's put in place to make you feel better about yourselves and make others think, oh, they're good. And then go, and then they have a bad experience. It's like, oh, those reviews were lies. Like, what do you say to that? What do you say if I go to one of these places you rate high and then I end up having a bad experience there? Does that mean the experience was tailored for you? Or does that mean I just had a bad experience and you were just lucky enough to have a good one? So at that rate, why even say anything? Why talk about, why even bring up your experience in the first place? It's almost like you want others to say, oh man, I want to go there with the intention to have the same exact experience as somebody else did. That's dumb. That's dumb. So again, if you're going to say somewhere is good, tell me what was good about it. Give me facts, information, stuff that I can digest and say, okay, in the event I need to do something revolving this, I can consciously choose this because I like and agree with that. Or I can be more conscious about something I'm choosing because I can weigh it against what I like and dislike. Maybe put that in a review. Don't just star things and pretend like you're a reviewer. I put a review. I review things all the time. No, you put stars and stuff like quick in and out. Went in for one thing, came out with more. Like, what does that mean? Did you walk in? They started handing you things? And then by the time you got what you needed, you're like, oh my God, I got to buy all this stuff they handed me while I was in here. So no, you intended to go in there for things. Don't say you went in for one thing and ended up coming out with others. Because what you went in with was possibly some self-restraint, and you left with none, absolutely no restraint. Because you were easily pushed into buying more things than the one thing you said you needed. Don't say you're going to the store for one thing and then come home with a cart. No, you obviously needed a lot more. You just couldn't think of them at that time. Don't say I'm going to the store for one thing and then come back with a grocery cart. Come back with $1,000 worth of new bills. Because it's asinine. It's ignorant. It gives zero validity to this stuff. And how do you even how do I gauge how, if I'm one of these people who, like, I look at reviews before I do anything. Oh my God, I gotta read the reviews. If they don't have reviews, oh my God, what kind of place am I going to go? If you have to live your life doing that, I hope you're not accepted into anywhere. Really. I hope you're really not accepted into anywhere. Because you're the reason all your experience is bad. And if your experiences are why why your experiences are bad, I don't want to be near that. No. So don't give something a 2-star review and it's a sour cream go hog. Like, did it taste like it was from a cartoon? Taste like it was from Quahog? From Family Guy? Like, what are you saying here? What does this mean? Doesn't mean nothing. It means gobbledygook. Takeout. Okay. Did it taste good? Was the pricing good? I'm going to say no on the pricing. For a lunch meal, you paid $50 to $100? Recommended dish, whiting? Again, these are the reviews that are driving companies and their share prices up. These are the reviews. Stuff that don't make sense, but because they gave him a 5-star, that's all that there needs to be. It's so ignorant. Gives a 5-star review, but then bashes somebody in the store. Like, get the hell out of here. And if the people that do this, like, oh man, yeah, I agree with that. Because you know who the tall Spanish grill is. Shut up. Like, let me see if I can pull it up without doxing. Never know how to get to things like my reviews, because I don't review. I don't review companies. I don't review things. But when I do, I give them a review. See my Google reviews. I don't have a ton. So I gotta do it on my phone. Oh wait, go to maps. New icon, contribution. Try to shrink this. Okay, these are my reviews. Oh, this was for this person. This isn't for how Bloom's reviews work. Are you give them a review so that the person gets more from the company. And so that's what I did. I talked to her, and she was really knowledgeable. We sat and chatted about all kind of stuff. Even though the reason I say Lou is new is because her knowledge is kind of like commercial knowledge. This was an incident with one of my mom's dogs, and I gave them a really bad original review because they literally looked at it all down to money. And all my mom was actually asking for was something to take the pain off from him, from one of her dogs. He was dying, actively dying. And this was when I worked there. And that's what I did. I just basically went through and 5-starred all of them. Back when I learned how it all worked. I learned how it all worked. And that's what it was. Places that I liked. And this is, I can tell you that it's all basically scams. It's very busy most nights, but is located on a street that has a very vintage look and feel. The restaurant itself feels like a small saloon, and for how busy it gets, they're really fast and kind. And that's true. A lot of when I put something in, it has to do with something that you can do in the area, what makes this place good. Or I will tell you, this was to inflate. I was flirting with a chick that worked there, and that was one of the things that came up in conversation. And it's because I would walk up there and get food from there all the time. Most of these places I used to walk to get places. The root beer stand is actually a place that someone who took their life, it was the last place her and I went and had lunch together. And it was we were both heading out of town, and I was paying her for a piece of art that I had gotten commissioned for my mom. The last meal Leslie Racer and I had together here. Yeah, if I submit a review for things, it's because there's something there that can draw people in. And this was around the introduction of Pokemon Go. So people who were following me as a review source were able to see certain places they could go to play Pokemon Go. And these places, when I would stream on Twitch doing this, I created like a whole kind of like a routine that other people I would run into kind of doing the same routine. Like, I heard about this routine. I'm like, where'd you hear about it? I'm like, I don't know. I just heard somebody saying something about if you play Pokemon Go, there's this good route to take downtown. And they were like giving all kinds of things like where to park. I'm like, that's weird because I was able to get a hold of Pokemon Go before it was released, full release. I was running with the API. So during the API, I was downtown creating this routine, downtown Cincinnati creating this routine. And unintentionally, I figured out the egg things. It was really all about walking. And I found out that the eggs registered faster if the device was in your, like, not in your pocket, but held downward and just kind of like stayed illuminated from there. And you could just walk like normal. And so that's what I did. I started creating the routine, and when it went live, I guess people had taken that and started to kind of push it outward. But I was one of the OG Pokemon trainers, Pokemon Go trainers downtown Cincinnati. I am an OG. I'm actually an Ingress player too. Ingress is what was in existence before Pokemon Go. But Pokemon Go it exploded it all. I'm an OG Pokemon trainer. My name used to be to coincide with this, but eventually I changed it to Sesame Street Posse. That's my Pokemon Go name, Sesame Street Posse. So if you're going to give a review, actually give a review that means something. Because giving a 5-star review with no words doesn't mean anything. And to be honest, this looks straight up like somebody boosting fraud. They never answering the phone. What kind of business? I wonder what time you called. They called after business hours. They called before business hours. And what that excuse is, Nick Shirley was here before and after business hours. And right here, come on, man. Even if you're not fraudulent, you got to do better. But again, a review 6 years ago. Been in business for 10 years, but I haven't gotten any reviews since then. But again, if you're taking care of people's children, people are going to review your stuff. And it's just how it works. And if you're only catering to people that aren't reviewing your stuff, you need to direct them into reviewing your stuff. Because you don't look like a legitimate business if you've been in business for 10 years. You've been in business since after the boom of the internet. And you're not pushing the internet. In 2016, the companies I was working for were trying to figure out how to take over the internet. And they had thousands of reviews. And they've been in business for a lot longer before the internet and all that. But it doesn't matter if you're building a business in the age of the internet and you're not number one presence is the internet. You should be more present on the internet than you are in your neighborhood in a lot of cases. If not to get business to you, to show everybody, look, I can't be fraudulent. If my internet persona is known by everybody, and you can literally stop by and get any bit of information that I'm showing on the internet. If you connect these 2 points, the digital and the brick and mortar, you can't be claimed to be fraudulent. You've been in business for 10 years, and in that 10 years, you have just as much time of internet presence. I'm sorry. Rightfully so, you deserve to be investigated. Rightfully so. You've been doing this for 10 plus years, and you still look like you're day one. I know. Again, that's what I'm talking about. Barriers. This barrier excuse needs to go away. This is how we do it in my country. No, you're not in your country no more. Sorry. You don't get to do it like your country no more. You get to do it like America. Do it like America or go back to your country and do it like your country. But you get to surrender your little remote start key fob first and the vehicle you drive. You don't get to throw that on a boat using taxpayer dollars and take it to your country. You get to surrender all the stuff that you bought with all this money. It gets surrendered. It gets surrendered. I mean, it's no different than a drug dealer making money off of selling drugs. Do you think that drug dealers get to keep all their possessions they purchase with drugs? No. Anything purchased with illegitimate gains gets seized and auctioned off. If it's money, it gets seized and put back into circulation. Well, law enforcement probably gets bonuses on the amounts of it and stuff like that. Like, there's probably levels of reward systems to seizing property, seizing money, seizing. If the government is seizing things from people for legal reasons, the government is making bank on that. And anything they would otherwise put back into circulation is getting like run through a shredder, and then like the particles are getting sent out back into circulation. Which is why you see like police auctions that do for specific types of property. You see bank auctions. You see all types of auctions for property that's not considered evidence. They auction all that off, and all the money, or all to a point of the money, goes back to that law enforcement agency, and that law enforcement agency either uses it for their budget or they donate it to balance their budgets. Pretty much, if they haven't donated enough money through the year, and they've made too much money during the year, they have to donate a bunch of money to make it look like they didn't make a bunch of money. I mean, it looks crazy, but it's kind of like the simplest way, like the oversimplified version. When if it comes to be where you're making too much money by the end of the year and you might have to owe on taxes, just donate a bunch. Donate a bunch to some random charity, something you can get receipts for. So when you go and file your taxes, it doesn't look like you actually made that much money, because it will look like the money you made was otherwise put into charity. So you'll be able to write that off. So therefore, you're not going to take a massive hit on your taxes and have to pay. In a lot of cases, you might actually get something because you donated money. They'll give you a bunch of tax credits, and you'll probably get a bunch of credits. So it'll take you from owing taxes to getting some type of taxes. So therefore, you can kind of run the same scheme year over year and use that as your profit margin. Because these companies, they don't donate all through the year or at the end of the year. They donate a ton of money and they try to make it back up throughout the year. Which is why during the holiday times, any of the major money spending holidays, you hear them, would you like to donate this? Would you like to round up? Would you like to? They start begging for handouts at the key points because they've already spent the money. People like to think, oh, I'm supplementing for their the money they're spending on charity. No, they've already spent the money on charity. You're just making the money back for them, which is going to be a lot more. And it's not like they're going to stop saying, would you like to donate money? Would you like to donate money? They're not going to stop once they hit the amount of money they donated. No, they're going to keep using it to build profits. It's going to be another profit margin. Charity panhandling is a profit margin. But it's like icing on the profit margin. It's extra. Once they make their money back for the money they spent in charity, then they start taking it. I mean, if they're smart, they'll kind of keep building it for the next time they do that. So they're not actually seemingly just robbing people blind for nothing. Because let's face it, most of these charities they're donating to, they're money laundering schemes. They are. They are. The amount of people they're actually helping is very, very minimal in comparison to the billions and trillions of dollars they take in year over year. And that's just what they do. It's literally what they do. A lot of people call it this, but I call it stolen philanthropy. Because while they are donating it most likely at the beginning of the year, the start of the quarter, they're using you to make the money back for it. They're not actually doing anything charitable. They're doing it because they know they can be paid for it. And it's just looked at as, oh man, well, they're able to donate millions of dollars. Well, if these companies weren't so greedy and these people weren't so greedy, people wouldn't be so needy. Duh. Out of 10, whatever Liam says. I think that's his name. The health guy. If people weren't so greedy, other people wouldn't be so needy. Duh. Out of 10. What you doing, Floofington? You over here chillaxing? Chillaxing, chewing on my floor? I would beat it out of somebody if they did anything wrong to you, man. Little guy, he's passed out under the bed. He's just all flopped sideways. Just over. Went in there, was talking to him. Moved his little house down into its normal location, and as I leaned down, laid on the ground to chat with him for a moment, he kind of like pulled his head up, looked over, and just like laid it back down to where he could see me. He's like, my little guy, he runs himself ragged. The little guy melts my heart. I love him. All right, I think it's time to put the headphones in and put on the Spotify and do some editing. Do some editing. While I don't have a ton of money, I do have enough money to continue down this route. And I mean, this route is not completely free, but I already have things in place to continue down it. Otherwise, it's just me continuing to apply for jobs and hope that I don't end up homeless. But my school money should be, it should, even if it's late, I just let my apartment complex know that, hey, my rent's gonna be late. I mean, life's a struggle. We're all getting by. So yeah. Let this. So right now we're gonna take a break from that. I'm gonna do some Bidja stuff. So, got my half a sandwich there. But if I get hungry, I'll eat that. I want to upload to YouTube, but it's gonna crush my internet. So right now I'm just gonna continue to pull in streams because I did that one, that one. I'll just pull it anyway, just because, just so I can get them all clipped. Clip, just to clip them all. You get the reviews afterward, buddy. I'm not gonna go in here and pat you on the crotch just because I'm able to use your tool and figuring it out. No, don't get to work that way. Let me go turn the heat down a bit. A little bit warm. From the mouth too much. Makes me hot. We're mostly looking to do today is what I'm just gonna crush my internet. You have to bear with me. I haven't got nobody in here anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna crush my internet right now. Tube. Bad thing is, I need sort 8. All right. Oh, this is what I needed. Streams. Because I've already... Actually, I know exactly how I do it. Need another tab. Nope. One. This one. That's one. All right, so what am I doing? I like made my brain poop. Oh, right. Wanted to shout out Kelly Robb for the YouTube subscription. Thank you for subbing on YouTube. That helps a lot. What we're doing is we're looking for streams, but we need to find the files. This progress streams. This match the videos to content we've already generated for you. YouTube. List all generated content and then list content needing generated. List all let's see what it does from here. I think the prompt is good enough. It's going to take a second because this thread is huge. This is a massive thread. I can move it to another thread, but then I have to constantly tell it to refer back to specific things until I've regenerated all the content in a new way and kind of disconnect it from any future content. Then I have to keep messing with this thread. This is pretty much where we can just start making the disconnect, because once I do everything for this side, then everything new will be new tags. All I have to do is tell it once to use any default parameter we set before in regards to making tags, titles, and descriptions for the specific platforms. When it does the thumbnails, I let it create the thumbnails. I only tweak it when I don't like what I see. So, which is why I do this. Of this screenshot, tell me what we've generated content for. Boom. The hell are you talking about? Oh. So what I can actually say, I can do this. 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 Disregard the following and For everything else, only refer to the file name because that's what was initially used alongside other things to generate content before. Super intelligent. They can't take place of a human being. They can't. They can do damn good in mirroring it, but they won't take the place. As you can see, needs tons of computing power. It's generating it still. Debbie, this thread is massive. Right here. I don't know where it's getting this. I don't see that. So I have to tell it. Do not analyze the image attached to the file name. Only look at the file name. Example given 12/27/2025 underscore 2.mp4. Because it's trying to analyze to see if whatever text is in the image is also part of the what we've created, and it's not. See? Oh yeah. Yeah, I need to do the. Damn. Okay. Good. It's still trying to analyze the other stuff, so whatever. It's not. It's still not generated anything for anything but this one. I've done this one before. Because that was put up on YouTube the other day. So, well, before I do this, so this is what it is. This is the tub that I'm getting. It's called Chef's Choice. They pick it. They have quite a few reviews. Um, you can't really tell how many. Oh, that's why they're all seemingly the same, because a lot of them are getting the Chef's Choice. And some of these could be looked as bots. stupid misspelling. It's probably their overstock right now. Is the yuzu. Like everybody's getting the yuzu. I've never had it before. I've never had an energy drink that you mix yourself. But this is essentially what I'm getting. So yeah. You can click the link down below in the panel, and it'll take you should take you right over to the W website. I haven't tested it. Probably should. Oh, got it. I did. Well, I'm trying to do as you say. It says with any other item, I have any other item, and now it's saying that it's not valid. Doesn't make sense. Basically, this is what my order is going to be. Seeing as I'm using the partner thing, I'm getting the tub for free, but I'm buying a shaker cup for it. I have tons of cups, but you know what? I mean, I can't afford a ton of money, but I can right now I can at least afford that and possibly make it back by the end of this month by making content and streaming. So that's the kind of the least I can do is do this. Because the shipping costs for it all is essentially what I'm paying for. They have all this stuff stockpiled. Yeah, my internet's about to tank. So be ready for it. Yeah, I did explain this the other day. Why Columbus Dispatch is losing readers. Because they're falling prey to the same thing legacy media is falling prey to. They're keeping one side of the argument alive while trying to snub out the other side's argument. Instead of allowing all sides of the argument to come in so that everybody stays grounded and realistic. This is ultimately why they fail at this stuff. Shit, this raid's gonna take all day.